Good morning. Recently I was on the Queen Victoria and I had a little disaster when they invited me onto the telly to do their morning programme and promote my book High Tea on the Queens. I made a little blooper. You can see it now.
Guest is with me. My next guest actually is a fellow guest on board, and Paul Davis is here. And a very good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Amanda. Good to see you.
You too. Now, the connection you have with Cunard is quite extraordinary because you worked on the original Queen Mary.
This old bag of bones is all that's left of a former entertainment officer.
An entertainment officer on Queen Mary. And what was it like going back then?
Oh, I loved it. I worked on about a dozen different ships.
Right.
But the holy grail was to get on Cunard. I worked on Greek, Italian,
Yes.
whole range of nationality ships. And the only British ship I actually managed to get onto was the best ship in the world, the Queen Mary.
Iconic ship, the original Queen Mary.
Better than the Elizabeth, because we had 3 funnels. They only had 2. I reckon they were a bit longer, but no. Queen Mary was the best.
And how long did you work on board?
I think it was about 18 months. It was rather sad. No sooner I got there, then they announced they're going to sell the bloody thing. It was terrible.
What a shame. So obviously the entertainment programme was very different on Queen Mary. They didn't have the extensive
so
programme
different.
we have
You guys
here.
are so slick today. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was a 22-year-old kid from a little country village in the south of England, and boy, was I raw. And I can't get over the professionalism of what you do today. It's
Well, that's
really
nice
amazing.
to hear. One thing they did do on the original Queen Mary was bingo, but it was called Housey Housey, wasn't it?
Housey Housey. It's
Yes.
so different. And I'll tell you a quick story about Housey Housey. It's a very, very noisy affair. You know, there's not the traditional way, not the way we do it today, where you sit down and look up at the TV screen. We had a bag, and you brought a passenger up on the stage. You just said, shake the bag, and you put your hands in and pulled out the numbers, and then you had to give it in a certain way. Like for the English, Wilson's 10. Harold Wilson was the Prime Minister,
Yeah.
number 10.
Yes.
It's pretty painful. And 2 little ducks in the water.
Yes, 22.
It was
All that.
terribly painful. But
Yeah.
it was fun. And
great
people
fun.
would shout and scream and stamp their feet
Yes,
and
yes.
get all excited. Whereas today it's tick, tick, tick.
Well, there's money involved, so we have to take it very seriously.
It was considered a middle class form of entertainment, or not quite.
It
bit
was very
lower.
traditional on ships, though.
Oh, yes,
Ships
it had
always
to be
had bingo.
there.
And you had things like classical concerts and things like that, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Live
we did.
music.
But we mostly used to pinch off the guests. It wasn't so organised like you have today. I mean, we had Yehudi Menuhin on board one trip, and I went and asked him to play for the passengers. And I thought, what am I doing? I'm only a kid. The person's a great man, you know. And he said no. And then there was I didn't know what to do. I was getting ready to retreat. And he said, but I will play for the crew. And I thought, oh.
That's nice, isn't
I
it?
said, well,
yeah.
because he's classical. So I thought, well, the officers might like to listen to you.
So he played for the
He
crew.
said,
How
no, I
lovely.
want to talk to the crew. I want to play for the crew.
How
And that was
lovely.
down in the Pig and Whistle, the
Yeah.
baggage handling area when
Yeah.
you first come on the ship.
Yeah, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely.
And there he came down with a Stradivarius. I wasn't going to carry it because
Oh, gosh, no.
down there was a bit
Expensive.
greasy. I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so we're going down some
How
pretty
lovely.
awkward steps with his Stradivarius.
Yeah.
Walked into there, and there was all the sailors with their singlets on and their hairy chests hanging out. It was really quite funny. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a disaster. And I said to the bosun, I said, can I introduce him? He said, no, mate, this is our territory. You clear off. So I retreated back. And the bosun said, well, we got here a chap that plays the fiddle a bit. You guys want to listen up. And so they sat there in their singlets with their beer all around this dreadful area where the luggage came in, called the
Bit
Pig
of
and
a
Whistle.
change of an audience for Yehudi Menuhin. My goodness.
And he
So
played,
lovely.
and
How
they
lovely.
loved it.
Yeah,
You
of
couldn't
course
have heard
they
a pear
did.
drop.
Oh,
You could
wonderful.
have been dropped.
Now, you have a book as well.
I
which is
do.
in the bookshop on board.
Yes.
Okay, just so you
Just
know.
happened to mention that,
Yeah.
yes.
So that if you want to have a look at the book, that's great. We carry that book, and that's in the bookshop on deck 3.
Can I just say one thing about
Yeah.
the book? This is a new edition. I've only just seen it, and it's got the bit about the Queen Anne in it, which is an edition. And it's a very useful little book. It's light, and you can use it to fan yourself. You can use it to swat flies. You can do all sorts of things. And you can even get
Multi-purpose book. You could read it as well.
you can even get it in your suitcase. It's so not heavy to carry.
It's a paperback.
So when you put all the toiletries in your suitcase and gather them up around the cabin and dump them in, and you've got the pillows and the fluffy dressing gown, and you're stamping on the thing trying to get the whole suitcase to close, you've still got room for the book.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that's not Queen Anne Passengers. I'm talking about Royal Caribbean.
Oh. Well, thank you very much for coming on the programme, Paul. Thank you.
Thank
Lovely
you
to
very
talk
much.
to you.
Bye.
We'll take a short
Thank
break.
you for
We'll
watching.
be back.
If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe. There's plenty more to come. Safe cruising.